Coach, in talking with Devin yesterday, he was saying how nice it is when everybody's locked in, top to bottom, and focused on the game. For you as a coach, what's that like to know everybody in this organization is locked in and focused on the game itself?
I mean, I think we always are. I don't think there's games where you take a night off from a focus standpoint. There may be a lack in execution, but I think it's those types of gyms are really good. I enjoy it. It reminds me of the 90s, when I was really young and just watching all those older guys in a playoff practice atmosphere. I was like, holy smokes, these guys are like, they're ready to go. And it taught me how to approach the game. I saw that yesterday with everybody. Everybody in the gym was focused on trying to be effective and come up with a game plan that would allow us to be successful.
Only thing I had to follow up watching Grant Williams today, he had a huge game, and he's not the Brown or Tatum, but he's that another guy that came up big. How important will it be for someone outside of Chris and Devin to provide that lift or something major for you guys to win tonight?
I think it's important, but I don't think it has to just be one guy. It'd be great, but when we're really good, we have a number of guys contributing. The biggest thing is to take care of the ball, make sure we get a good shot offensively. And then defensively, it's going to start with our transition, finding a man and just staying in front of the ball. When we did that in game 5, you saw the better part of our defense. But to your point, you always want to have, the guys that do it, and then having 1 or 2 or 3, hopefully 6 or 7 guys have really good nights. I mean, that's, a coach's dream.
Monty J said yesterday that some of the turnovers he thinks comes down to overthinking. Did you sense some of that watching him back the last couple of games?
Yeah, just making the easy play. That's something we've talked about the last couple of days. Just making the simple play. That's something we've done all year. Good to great, paint to great. That's who we are. That's who we'll be tonight.
And you just feel like once you get the defense in rotation, that's when you guys really reach that level.
Yeah, I mean but that always starts with stops. When we get stops and get out in transition, that's when we can play the kind of basketball that we are known for. And then in the half court, just being precise with screening. That's something that we have to do a much better job of is make sure we're getting the proper angle, and the relationship and the screening partners is good.
Coach, we talked to Jay and Book about what they were going to do with yesterday to just kind of take their mind off of things. Were you able to do anything to kind of free your mind, or is it hard when your mind is just racing thinking about a game like this?
I mean, every game consumes you, you know what I'm saying? But this is game 7, and it's, biggest game of the year. So yeah, I mean, you're always thinking about it. Nobody's going off to war or anything like that, but this is important to us, coaches, players, the organization, the city. So yeah, I mean, I thought about it all day, all night. That's how it is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I, was able to go in my backyard and prune a few bushes to get my mind off of it. Like, that didn't happen. I was thinking about the game.
In terms of preparation, I know doing the next right thing is how you operate. With a game like this, do you add extra steps in there, or is it more important than ever to kind of stick with what you've done all season?
I think we do stick with what we've done and make small corrections along the way. That could be schematic, that could be a rotation, an in-game feel for a guy that could go in there and have an impact. Kevin Young has been so valuable in that regard, giving me ideas, and they've been pretty good so far. So yeah, I think it's, do what we do at the highest level and then make those small corrections along the way.
Coach, you guys have been so dramatically different between playing at home and playing on the road. And obviously you're at home this time, but Have you been able to pinpoint how that is so you can, as much as possible replicate that in this game?
I mean, no, I haven't been able to, because the series would be over, right? If I could have, just from my standpoint, I'm not quite sure. Look, they've done really good stuff in both, outside of game 5. They probably think they could have played a lot better, but they've done some things in all of the games that have given us trouble. For me, it's like, do what we do as consistently as we can, no matter where we are. That's who we've been all year, right? And so that's where my mind goes. Like, it doesn't matter where we are. We always say defense travels, playing hard travels. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't do anything about your shot, but those two things travel. And that's what we have to do tonight. We got to play extremely hard, and we have to defend at the highest level. And that usually helps us with the shot making because we're playing in transition.
So last year you had the elimination game in the finals. It was the only one of the whole playoffs for you guys last year. How does it distinctive going into this elimination game? What's distinctive about an elimination game as opposed to everything else?
I mean, it's distinct because you're either moving on or you're not. I mean, that's just but I don't think, even though that's there, my mind always goes to what's the next thing I have to do before you even get to those conclusions. I don't want to think about the end just yet, even though it's human nature to do that. Right now, it's like, how can we give the players the most concise video presentation so that they can have the information, but keeping them in a state of mind where they're out there hooping and not thinking, and then having a good warm up first quarter and then just go on from there. But yeah, it's human nature to think about the other stuff, but for me, I have to reel it in and get back to, I leave this and go right in there and talk to the coaches and go to chapel and then go meet with the players. And then we get out there and hoop.
So when you get into the game itself, is each play, each decision heightened because of the situation?
I think so, without question. But that's high stakes playoff basketball. I don't think that's anything that you don't want. I mean, we work for this, we work for these situations. We work to have home court advantage. And we also worked to be in situations like this. We prepared for it. And so as high stakes as the situations and decisions may be, like, you have to embrace it. Like, this is what we wanted. 3 years ago, we weren't in this situation. And I'm mindful of how far we've come. And now there's a lot more room to go. And we want to make the right decisions and do the right thing so we can continue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Paul, he's had the most experience in game 7s out of
Mhm.
everybody on the team, maybe added up. What has he been saying, or can you share what he's been saying to the team on how to prepare and how to mentally be ready for how different a game 7 can be than the rest?
I don't know. I haven't been in those conversations. Knowing Chris, he's probably telling them to stay loose, keep the same focus. Don't make it more than basketball. Even though everybody knows human nature is to, put more chips on the table because it's game 7, but he's been in enough of them to know, like, you got to go out there and play kind of basketball that we played all year, just with more execution, harder on every possession, like those kinds of things, without being tight.
Monty, just off of that, with Chris, because of his experience, time in the league, age, does the wear tear get to him now? Do you see that more than in circumstances if he were a little bit younger?
I mean, I would imagine, yes. I mean, I used to have hair, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't, so when we were younger, things were different. So I would imagine, but we can't live there. Chris has been really good for us all year, and I'm going to trust him no matter what. in games like this and on days like this, like this is when he does his best stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
you.